So, in explaining to you that you are a vibrational being, we want to call your attention back to what you're doing here and now in relationship to all that you've become. So we wrote a book a while ago. It was entitled Getting into the Vortex. Are you aware of it? We talked about the vortex incessantly because we wanted you to realize, we wanted you to take that step in understanding that you are creating vibrational realities that you're not yet living. And that's the vibrational version. That's the thought version. That's the get the thought out there in advance. Law of attraction is actualizing around it. But unless you are a vibrational match to it, it doesn't come into your experience. So we want you to realize that the things that you think about, wanted or not wanted, have created vibrational versions that will manifest if you keep the vibrational momentum going long enough. That's the clearest we've ever said it. Wanted and unwanted, right now, vibrational state beings or experiences will become actualized if you keep the momentum of those thoughts going longer. So, the question is, do you have realization of whether you want it or not? And, biggest question, have you practiced so that you have the control or focus of your own thoughts to focus on things wanted and to no longer focus on things not wanted, or mostly? That really is what deliberate creating is all about. We have a new analogy that we like so much. It has so many pieces to it that we can utilize in so many ways to demonstrate to you what we're talking about. So we'll get away from vibration for a moment and talk about something that is practical, that you can envision. Esther has a pond in Texas that has a pipe in the bottom of the pond that takes the water to the filter, and then it puts it back. Simple concept. But the pond was getting cloudy. Couldn't see the fish. And it was discovered finally, after trying different things, that the pipe that was putting the water back in was clogged. So they just laid some new pipes. They laid some new pipes that allowed the water to come back into the pond, and it cleared up right away after quite a while of being cloudy. And as Esther watched that experience, she was so excited because she so loves the beauty of this little stream and the pond that is at the base of it. And oh, the beautiful fish have been there for quite a while. She knows some of them very well. When she can see them, she recognizes them. And so she wanted to see them, and seeing them again made her feel really good. So then we began suggesting to you that you've got some clogged pipes and don't even know it. You've got some pipes that you mean to have open that are not open. And then we said that the pipes had clogged from neglect. Well, that got Esther thinking, because years ago we were talking about just open your valve between you and what you want. And today we are saying let that be the path of least resistance. So now we're saying to you that the thought ways that you carve out with the steady thoughts that you think literally carve out paths of least resistance. And then through those paths of least resistance, things come. They rendezvous with you. So let's say you've been irritated about something since you were a child. Your parents didn't have enough money. They talked about not having enough money. They told you they didn't have enough money. They told you that you didn't have enough money. They told you that money doesn't grow on trees. They told you that they were not going to get that for you. They helped you, not in all cases, but in many cases, carve out a pathway to not enough money, a path of least resistance. What we are suggesting is that you just lay some new pipes by thinking new thoughts. But often you say, well, that conceptually sounds like a really good idea, and I'll get right on that. But the problem is, the other pathway has momentum going, and every time you get down to that juncture where you could go that way in the new pipe or that way in the old pipe sucks you in because it's got more momentum going, because you've been thinking that thought longer. When you think a thought for as little as 17 seconds, another thought like it will join it. More momentum. As you stay focused there, another thought joins it, more momentum. When it crosses the 68-second mark, seriously, when it precisely crosses the 68-second mark, there's enough momentum now that things begin to occur to you in stronger fashion. We would call that, just for sake of clarification here, a manifestation point, a strong enough manifestation point. So now at the beginning of this gathering, we would like to suggest that you let those old pipes that are leading to unwanted things, like not enough money, or not enough clarity, or not enough vitality, or not enough of whatever it is that you want more of, we suggest that you let them clog up from neglect. And the way you let them clog up from neglect is by not thinking those thoughts. So how do you not think a thought that already has some momentum going? By getting a head start on it. By thinking another thought. I'm not going to think about that thing that I've been thinking about that's not good for me to think about. So I'm not going to think about that thing that I'm thinking about, because I'm not going to think about that thing that I'm thinking about because, well, you're thinking about it too, aren't you? I'm not going to think about that thing that I'm not going to think about because thinking about that thing is not good for me. So I'm not going to think about that thing that I'm not going to think about anymore. I'm not going to think I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to think about that thing that I'm thinking about. I don't mean to think about that thing that I'm thinking about because I can't stop thinking about that thing that I'm thinking about. It's like that thing that I'm thinking about is thinking me.